I always admired those tightrope walkers. I watched that American Ninja on TV, and they practice, and they have this thing, and they're practicing on the tightrope because they have to walk, and it's a question of keeping it perfectly centered. A little bit to the left and a little bit to the right can change everything, right? So it is an amazing technique that one needs to master. Learning to achieve balance in life. Not too much of anything and not too little of anything. When you don't have any money, okay, you're okay wearing the same 2 t-shirts that you bought in Walmart, right? Then you get a better job, and then you say, maybe I should buy at JCPenney. So you upgrade. And then you buy at JCPenney, and then you get an even better bonus. And then you switch to Ann Taylor. You keep skipping and jumping, and there comes a point in your life where you have got more clothes in your closet than you know is good for you. Life's like that. Life's like that. The simpler you keep your life, the wealthier you're going to be. And I'm not talking about actual money. If you take joy and you take pleasure in the simple things in life, then every moment becomes an opportunity to just celebrate. Ordinary people are the ones that have extraordinary experiences. Every moment is a joy. Very often, people tell me that, oh, you're talking like this, and you don't know, very soon your life is going to change. And I don't want my life to change. I don't want my life to change because important, popular people miss out on the real experiences in life. I am very happy to be perfectly ordinary, to have just enough money to live, just enough clothes to wear, just enough to have to perhaps take one vacation a year. If I don't take that vacation, I will treat every day and every weekend as my vacation till such time that I can travel again. It is good to remain ordinary and simple, because the more you take on, the more you have to handle. And that crosses all parts of your life. Your social life. You've got 700 friends on Facebook. How many of them do you actually care for or even talk to? 5 or 10? Ultimately, it's that core group that sustains and nourishes you. That's all you need. 6 billion people in the world, and you have maybe 5 people that you can say really care for you, make your life worth living. Yet all day you spend looking to see what they're all up to. And you have no idea how much getting on your phone takes away from your life. And this is really true for youngsters. I remember giving a talk like this on spirituality and meditation, and there were 3 or 4 kids that were permanently on their phone. And I really felt sad for them. Because here was somebody telling them how you can change your life, and they couldn't be bothered. And they're never going to hear anything anyone says to them They're never going to see anything that's happening in their lives. They're never going to see the man of their life walk into their living room because they will be on their phone. They will miss out on every good opportunity. A telephone is way more than we need. We need to allot a certain amount of time for all of this stuff. Allot a certain amount of time for our bodies to exercise and to eat well, and a certain amount of time to cleanse our mind. If you don't do that, if you don't cleanse your mind periodically, the build-up will just be too much, and one day the universe will conspire to make you rest. If you don't give that job up, the job will give you up. If you don't give the man up, the man will give you up. If you don't give up that which is holding you back, and you know it's holding you back, the universe will conspire to bring on an illness, to bring on a sickness, so you take a break. And you reinvent yourself. And in that you will grow. But on the other hand, if you don't step into your destiny, you will never know what you're capable of. So what am I saying? I'm saying both things, right? I'm saying keep life simple and yet step into your destiny. You have to know that the sun is going to set and then it is going to rise tomorrow. You know that, right? Tomorrow is another day, another opportunity. Today, you need to sign off. Do what you can, 100%. Give it all that you've got, 100%, and then sign off. What causes stress? When we can never sign off. Somebody is giving you trouble at work, not making their payments, you have to collect their check. You talk to him at 6 o'clock, you couldn't get through, and you're up till 11 o'clock wondering how you're going to get through. It doesn't really help you. Turn it all back on again tomorrow morning at 7 when you wake up. You have to learn to turn off at some point in the day. If you don't take on more, then you become complacent. You become lazy. And you never do anything worthwhile. You go through the motions of the day. Get up, drink your coffee, take your bagel, go to work, come home, slop in front of the TV, smoosh something up in front of the stove, eat dinner, watch some more TV and go to sleep. But there is something inside of you that wants to express itself. Perhaps you want to learn how to paint. Perhaps you want to work in the garden. Perhaps you want to start an adoption agency for dogs. There's something inside each one of us that we long to do, that we never make time for. I'll do it when I'm retired. For most people, spirituality is an occupation for retirement. Well, this is something that you should learn in your teens so that you never retire. Right? You just keep going and going because there's no fatigue, because you're not mentally invested in anything. There is hardly any point coming to the table at age 90 when you're just waiting to go. Right? I would much rather have 20-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and just give it to them, fresh minds, so that they can just achieve the moon. Take a flying leap to the moon. Anything is possible. We only feel the strain because there is an internal resistance. You can be a writer, you can be a motivational speaker, you can be a creative writer, you can be a cook, you can be the laundry woman, whatever. You can do all those things seamlessly if you don't feel that resistance, like, I don't want to be cooking. I want to be only doing my work. I don't want to be earning $100 a month. I want to earn 10,000. It's when you don't like what is that you spend a lot of your time in your head, churning things around and around, and then it gets too much. And then you feel other people are taking too much from you. Everyone's taking advantage of you. You have a choice in life. You can choose to just sit. I could just sit at home and continue with my cooking and cleaning and watching soap operas till the day I died. But I felt that I had to step into my destiny, even though I knew that the hurdles are tremendous. Authors are coming out of the woodwork these days. I'll never make $1 million selling my book. Who is going to publicize me? Who is going to know? Now, if I had all these thoughts in my head, I would never get anywhere. I just take pleasure in my writing. I just take pleasure in these groups, just meditating and sharing. And I don't worry that it's too little or it's too much. Because when it gets bigger, I will have the capacity to handle it. Because I will do it effortlessly. Life has to stop being a struggle. It has to be effortless. That is not to say you don't learn new things. Yes, you learn how to put videos on the internet. You learn how to do research on your phone and then type. You do all those things. You learn everything. I learned how to write ebooks. I learned how to do a page, because every time I wanted to do a page on Facebook, my kids would say, "Mom, it's not rocket science. Anyone can do it." So nobody was ready to help me. So I, step by step, I do get frustrated. But I have learned to do it just at my pace. And when you're given more work, it just means that you're up for a new level of responsibility. When you're given a group of people like this, it is my moral responsibility to guide you in the right direction to your own destiny. Not to tell you to take the path that I have picked, but to allow you to step into your own. And how do we do that? We withdraw into ourselves. When things get too crazy at work, when people are asking too much of you, when life is demanding too much, you're being pulled in all directions, you withdraw into that quiet moment. When I say sit comfortably with your back straight, that feeling when you sink in, that's the feeling you call back. And you can call it back at will. Because even if your eyes open during meditation, you close them again, and it's very easy to sink back in to that feeling of complete peace and calm. The only turmoil that exists is in your head. The world is a very peaceful place. Go outside for 5 minutes. Stare at the leaves and the green grass and the trees. They're just happily there. Very happy. No protests, nothing, no revolution going on there. No asking anybody of anything. The bees come and take the honey. They don't cry out, "How dare you take my honey?" It all happens very naturally. And life's like that. It's a process of give and take. Somebody takes from you, you give to someone else. And the resistance is in your head, therefore you see life as a struggle. It ceases to be a struggle when you shine the light of awareness on it. And where do you develop that awareness? Is the mindfulness comes from recalling the feeling of meditation. That very first sentence that I say, sit comfortably with your back straight. Take a deep breath in, and that's it. That's it, you're in there. You're in that space. You've put that reflector up. If somebody is giving you a really hard time, you have that reflector that I keep talking about. The switch is in your hand. You don't have to let what they say affect you. It can reflect off. They won't see it. You'll just have it up. Just don't use it every time your mom says something to you. Use it cautiously. It's got to be used in the right way, and it's a weapon. It's a defense weapon, you know. And when life gets too much for us, when people start demanding too much of us, we put up that reflector. We put up that reflector, so we have a deadpan face and everything is bouncing off, nothing is going in, nothing is staying within, and nothing affects you unless you let it, right? Unless you let it. Obviously, whatever it is that's bothering you is because you're allowing it to. You just don't know that you're doing that until you're deep into the process and your emotions have started getting involved, your blood pressure is raised, you started losing your mind, you're not focusing on anything. That's when you realize that, oh my God, I've been thinking about this situation in my life. But what if you caught it right at the beginning when it starts as a sensation? Any resistance to what is starts as a sensation in your body. When I ask you in meditation, become aware of any sensation. That's what I'm referring to. That is the beginning. When we do, if we meditated for a whole day, for 3 days, by the second, third day, you could see your thoughts originating. You could see your feelings and emotions originating. You can see where it comes from. It's a very, very unbelievable feeling. Then you realize that emotions rise and they fall within you. Thoughts rise and they fall within you. And you have a choice. You either hold on to that thought, pump it with lots and lots of emotion, and then it's become an impression. It's become an impression, and that impression sits in your subconscious. And then it keeps throwing out these random thoughts. You're thoroughly useless. You can't work properly. Nobody appreciates you. You might as well, take early retirement. You're never going to get a job. You're never going to be fine. Because it's what you put in there. So the trick is to get to the bottom of everything. To the source where all of this begins. And that you only discover with meditation. Not meditating one time or 2 times or even once a week, but meditating every single day. Just like you sleep, just like you eat, just like you go to work, you take that time for your mind. And then you do it for a period of 40 days, 1 blood cycle, 6 weeks. And the vibrations get absorbed and a change takes place within your body. And you won't even be aware of it. 6 months later, you'll look back and say, my God, I used to get so mad at that. And now I just smile at it. It's amazing how much I've changed. You'll see the changes. They happen very subtly. They come into your life very gently. The frequency changes subtly. Nobody bothers you. You can take on not only that 1 extra patient, you can take on 6 extra patients. Work an extra 2 hours and you'll still be humming a tune at the end of the day. Really happy. It's all, life is not your life situation. Do not confuse your life that keeps changing, keeps coming, it keeps going, keeps coming, it keeps going. People come and go. You are right here. And your attitude and your interaction with that life situation is what it's all about. So just affirm, begin your day saying that I will be happy no matter what. Happiness is my birthright. I will be happy today and every day. And I will not allow any person, any event, any situation to rob me of that birthright. Once you take a happiness decision, you're happy. So what if things happen? That's not your life. That's your life situation. It's just a situation, and situations change. Everything changes. Everything changes. But somewhere inside of you, there is that something that just never changes, that remains permanent, that sees this whole drama going on, that knows you slept well at night or you ate a good meal, that understands that this person really cares for you and that one, I don't like the vibes. There is that something that doesn't change. It was the same when you were 6 months old, when you were 10 years old, 20 years old, and 50 years old. It just doesn't grow old. Find that someone. Find that someone, that person that's observing, that entity, that self, that Brahman, that eternal consciousness that is watching this whole thing play out. Now I'm getting too heavy, and I think it's time to meditate. Om Namah Shivaya.